Hey guys, it's me again, Orc Slayer. What ifs? Where we last left off? Let's see. Checking. So, Deku, Kirishima, Mina, and all of them landed in 1A. They went through it how they typically would. Like, Deku has his guns. All that. He's been given a limited supply of real ammunition, is how they're starting him off with. Till he can prove that he ain't just gonna blast it, like shoot anyone. That's when it's blast. No, but he succeeded in the hero versus villains with him, of course, being sent with Uraraka fighting not Kirishima, but Ida and Bakugo. So he took down Bakugo after shooting him with his shock bullets. And then he hog-tied him, essentially. Then he went over to Ida, tossed a couple flashbangs in there, as Uraraka was struggling after she had pre-used hers. As Ida was blind during that moment, Deku took him down. And they all left the school victorious. Yeah, that's how it went, I remember. And I believe after this... Yep. Hey. Oh, sorry. Ugh. Sorry. So, it's the next day. Deku and them have arrived at school, and now they're going to eat lunch as they're, like, sitting around. So it's like, so guys, how have you been? As Deku's sitting around with Kirishima and, like, his entire little group, as he's speaking to all of them as... So, they all talk about how Deku's just like Snipe, because I don't know if everyone knew class, but he pretty much says, yeah, he's my dad. Yeah, I said he told a few of them, I believe. Not Uraraka or Ida. Well, Ida he does. Ida does know, as Deku also know Ida's brothers and Genium. As all that comes out for a few of them. As then it's just like, and beforehand... They're all judging whether, like, who to put in charge of, put in charge of the whole, class presidency. As Deku was elected pretty much class president, he's like, I don't like the sound of sheriff. I don't like the sound of president. So how about we just make me a sheriff? As it's just like, Momo, you make some little... pins and you could be the deputy. As it's like, wait, what, you serious? He's like, yeah. He's like, does it sound like I'm joking? As she's like, sure. As she hands him a little pin, sheriff, as he just like puts out right on there. As in the whole scenario with the whole thing happens and Ida being quick acted, Deku gave orders. Then he's like, maybe I should make Ida my deputy. As he like talks with Ida, like, hey, you wanna be a deputy? As it's like, wait, what? As Deku pretty much, like, Momo made multiple things. As Deku just like, Deku didn't slap one of the pin-ons. He just slapped a sticker on Ida. He's like, here you go. He's like, Ida's like, what is this? He's like, you're officially a deputy. Sorry, I'm sounding stupid. Deku and them then go on to go to the whole, USJ. As Deku gave his, in-detailed description of his quirk, as no one really saw him do anything strange since it was hallways. Deku really didn't have to, use bendy bullets to actually get a Bakugo. As Deku says, oh, well, it's, as he explains the quirk, as they're like, wait a second, you got, yes, my father's snipe, deal with it. As then they arrive at the USJ. Deku and all of them are, like, standing there, as 13th's like, your quirk can kill people, as Deku says, technically, as Deku thinks, my quirk can't kill anybody. I'm the one who makes the decision, technically. That stuff doesn't make sense. Like, for instance, Bakugo's explosions, if he intentionally blows someone up, he better be it's most likely he's gonna end up killing someone. This, as he sort of in his head is like pointing out some of the flaws he can see. Like, for instance, if someone's not meaning to kill someone with their quirk, is that manslaughter? As he's actually thinking this over, he's like, hang on a second. As he starts thinking in depth, then he, like, is broken from that when he's like, hey, I didn't know we were supposed to be fighting villains today. Aizawa. There we go. Forgot his name for a second. Sorry. As Aizawa was like, those are real villains. As he pulls off his scarf, Deku's like, oh yeah. As he like pulls out his 2 revolvers, it's just like, Mr. Aizawa, I would like to lend you a hand. As he's like, what? As the other children like Ida and all them like, Midoriya can't be serious. He's like, I'm dead serious. As he's like pulling down the barrel and pulls the trigger. As he fires 6 times, well, 3 times for each gun, and the bullets go flying as everyone's like, wait a second, as it, like, each one hits their mark. As he says, I only got about 18 bullets of real ammunition, and I got a lot more of energy pellets things. As when he has more of those, like, bandoliers, like, strapped to him and such. As he like removes his duster, as it like falls to the ground, everyone just sees like several rows of bullets on him, and people can't tell which ones are real and which ones are not. And they're like, Deku, when did you? He's like, and he even actually has some rows of bullets on his like underneath his wrist and such. As he says, all you, would you kindly please leave? Me and Aizawa got this. As he starts walking forward with Aizawa. As some people are like, did that guy just take off his duster? As Deku says, Aizawa, I'll assist you from long range. You go in and do whatever you need to do. It's like, and don't worry, as he says this, letting off several more shots, I always hit my mark. As several people are like, ah, as they're like frozen stiff. He's like, alright. As he jumps into the fray with Aizawa, sort of like, I got your back, Aizawa. As he's letting off like little blast of blue bolts or blue pellets of energy. He's like, pew 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 pew. It's like reloading. As he like flips one pistol, gets it reloaded quickly, sort of like in a Dark Tower way. If you guys seen the movie with Idris Elba, The Dark Tower, as he puts the pistol along like somewhere near like his stomach or around those areas, and like uses his thumb to push the bullets into the actual I forget what it's called. Dang it, sorry. Into the magazine, I guess, or whichever you forget what it's called. Just the magazine, I guess. Sorry if I'm wrong. I forget words, like some of those words. It's complicated. As with that being said, he flicks it open and just fires again, as he does the same thing again. As he has around over 100 bullets with him right now, as he's like going through a bit of this normal ammo, the energy ammo pretty quickly, taking these guys down. As when he fires over, like gets 2 guys right behind Aizawa, he's like, got you, partner. As when he fires again, a purple portal opens up and actually almost hits him, as he's like, whoa. He's like, what in Sam? As then he's like, has to dodge the portal again. He's like, well, that ain't fair. It's like, sorry, but you must be moved. As it's Kurogiri, he's like, Tomura is getting very agitated. He's like, oh, then where is Sir Tomura? It's like, take it. It's the hand man over there. Handyman. As it's like, yes, and you shall not interfere. As Kurogiri tries to do that thing over and over, as Deku's like, up, hey Aizawa. As it's like, cover your eyes. As he like throws up a flashbang. As it's like still like a very loud bang. As everyone heard that, like, wait, what? As Ida has this point has run off, Deku's like rushes over and actually uses real bullets. He's like, sorry about this, as he fires all 6 shots in a rapid procession as Kurogiri shouted to Nomu, protect Tomura, as it moved into the way and just absorbed the bullets. He's like, I think I might have bit off more than I could chew. As he switches to the normal blue bullets, or the energy bullets, as he fires at the Nomu, as the bullets just go bing, 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 and just like fall to the ground. No, not the bullets, but the energy blast just sort of absorbed into him, as it's just like pixie shots from, I think her name's Bumblebee, the superhero that's married to Ant-Man. Not the Wasp. I forget, yeah, sorry, not the Bumblebee, the Wasp. How she has those, like, little energy blasts, like those, or pixie, whatever her name is. It's pretty much like that to Nomu. Deku's like, well, shit. As it's like, Nomu, get him. As it gets that look in its eyes, as it comes over, as Deku's like, oh, shoot. As he moves backwards, just barely, like, having to react 20, like, several seconds before it actually even moves. As even 20, like, several seconds before it even moved, it smashes its fist into the ground where Deku was. He's like, oh, now this is, as he's like constantly, this thing is too fast for him to track. The only reason why he's not dead yet is because he's just getting lucky. This thing is missing every time by just like an inch or more, or even less. As one time it gets too close, as he's like, alright, how do you like this? As he pulls the trigger right into one of its eyes. As it grabs him by the arm, by his left arm, as then starts pressing down with, as it's just squeezing with a lot of force, as Deku feels a crack in it, as he's like, oh, that ain't good. As then he focuses, as he has a knife. Who wouldn't? What kind of cowboy would be incomplete without a knife? As he grabs it and slices, like stabs it right between the wrist, like right between the hand and around that area, as he sticks it straight up through that part and twists it for as much as he can. As then it's just like a little pop or something, or sound along those lines. As Nomu's hand is somewhat dislocated. As with its being dislocated, its grip has pretty much immediately like become loose in a way. As he also sliced it along the nerves and such, that immediately like gave it the message, stop gripping. As it like let its hand go. As it's like, as he jumps backward, unloading several more bullets into its face, he's like, now this ain't fair. As he like has to shoot with one arm, he's like, well, as he, from his broken arm, as it had fallen down, he grabbed the pistol, put it back in its holster. He's like, well, I'll see how long I can last against this. As it's like, hey, Aizawa, give me a hand over here. As Aizawa has pretty much taken care of the rest of that rabble. As Deku's little stun bullets are extremely effective. As when it's extremely effective. There we go. As with him retreating back, he's like, Aizawa, take care of whatever this thing's quirk. As he's like, Deku, are you alright? He's like, yeah, just my left arm is broken. You know, nothing I can't handle. As he's saying, it's right on us. As he like has to dodge backwards. As he rushes forward with the pistol, as he's like, bang, 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 with real bullets. He's like, Midoriya, who? I did not give you clearance to use real bullets. Oh, shut up, Aizawa, this thing ain't even human, I think. Hasn't said a dang word since I started firing at it. Didn't even go down with my blue bullets. So I'm figuring, let's put him down. As he like cocks the hammer back. Come on, old yella. As he like cocks it back. Let's finish the job. As it lets out like somewhat of a roar as it rushes forward. As then Deku and Aizawa are right there ready to stare this thing down together. As before they're able to like sorry. Before this thing is able to like come charging at them, two people appear as Deku heard what was happening. No, not Deku. Snipe was in an office with All Might and Snipe, and I know All Might was already heading his way over there. I'll just say this time he went to talk with Nezu, and Snipe wanted to talk with Nezu about getting him some more permission to use actual bullets, trying to argue the point that Deku's an expert in guns. There's no way he would use it without permission. As Ida burst in, "Hey, USJ's under attack. We all need help. Deku and Aizawa is fighting off the heroes as we speak." As Snipe's like, "Run that by me again?" As it's like the villains have attacked USJ. Deku and Aizawa went to take on their little horde that they brought. As Snipe hears about this, it's like, "All Might, pick me up." As he's like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "Pick me up and get us over there." As when they both barge in, Snipe's like, as he's flicking, like, his gun is locked and loaded, he's like, fires several shots at Tomura, or Shigaraki. As Nomu was like, "Fall back, Nomu," as it fell back to defend Shigaraki, as Deku's like, "Oh," as it's like, "Izuku, how much ammo do you got left?" It's like, well, as it's like he tosses him like a bandolier or another like little belt, and it's like, "Never mind the question, it was dumb. You probably went through a lot trying to take down these people non-lethally." He's like, "Wait, are these real bullets?" "Yeah. Got permission from Nezu." As Deku's like, "Alright." As he like puts down, as his little lever action rifle has been used quite a lot. As when he was like, didn't have time to switch to another pistol, or like his right-handed gun, like his gun on his right hand, he quickly put it in as he like pistol whipped whoever was attacking him, put it back in its holster, and whipped out the lever action, fired several shots, taking down more people. As I'll say, these guns relatively use the same caliber of weapon, or same caliber of ammo and such. As Deku's like, "Oh yes," as he like takes off that like one of the empty little straps around his waist, I'll say, and straps this new one on. He's like, "Now this is what I'm talking about." As he does the same reloading trick, as he's like, "Let's do this." As Deku and Snipe work together to help suppress the Nomu, or even Kurogiri for Snipe's case. They're both firing, and they both have used their quirks quite a lot. Are actually using their quirks. Well, yeah, they use their quirks to like try and get around the defenses or hit Shigaraki or something. As All Might is taking Nomu to task, as Deku and them are just basically keeping Shigaraki and Kurogiri busy. And it's like, Deku's like, "Alright, I got this one," as he like focuses on Shigaraki. He's like, "Come on, handyman, come on." As he's like firing, as Tomura's like, as he's been shot, he's like, "You're annoying. Wish Master would let me use more Nomu." As Deku's like, "Wait a second, you got more of these freaks?" As when he says that, it's like, as Kurogiri lets a portal open, as Tomura's allowed to stick his hand forward, as Deku uses his right hand, like his left arm is taking a lot of damage. As he puts it up, it's grabbed and somewhat decays, similar to how, well, not his arm, but his hand, as Deku went to go throw away and like backhand it with his, like, backhand it, as Shigaraki grabbed it, and Deku was like, "Oh no," as he fired into Shigaraki's hand, as his hand already turned, like, had the skin breaking off, as he's like, "Oh, damn, that hurts." He's like, that burns like a bitch. As he's like, oh, that hurt. As he's like backing off, Snipes like, are you okay, Deku? He's like, I'm fine. They just got my hand or something though. So, I'll repay the favor. As he fires, as he's like, so, as he like looks down on his hand and sort of pushes it into like a fist, I'll return the favor. As then he quickly brings out his pistol and quickly rapid fires it in a matter of 3 seconds. Quickly fires it so quickly and reloads in the same amount of time that the bullets fly around Kurogiri or any of those little portals and rapidly hit Shigaraki in the shoulders, arms, legs, and knees. As Shigaraki's like, oh, and falls over. Kurogiri is like, Tomura, as he completely makes that little bubble against him. He's like, you got one of two choices now. Give Handyman up, or I'm gonna aim for those yellow things you call eyes. As then it's Nomu, take care of him. As Nomu goes full automatic, as it goes full thing. As then it starts bashing everyone, or starts bashing down All Might, and makes a rush for Deku. As he's like, not again. As he just sort of tries to slide between the Nomu's legs. As he's like, Aizawa, give me a hand here. As then Aizawa used his little thing, wrapped around Deku and pulled him yanked him over. As then All Might clashed with the Nomu and sends it flying as it does in the original. As when Deku went flying, he landed on his left arm. It's like, why does this keep happening to my left arm? As he grabs his arm, or lets it curl up a bit, he's like, oh, I'm gonna see Recovery Girl after this. As his arm has several little broken and a part that's almost somewhat snapped. As his hand has been severely decayed. He's like, yeah, this was a fun first experience when it comes to the USJ. Let's do it again in a week. As he lays his head down, he's like, hey Dad, how you doing? It's like, well, it seems you did pretty good, Deku. He's like, thanks, Dad. Hey, is everyone else okay? It's like, as then, all the other heroes come in, as Deku's just like, good. Now, if you don't mind, as he gets up, goes over, he walks up the steps, as everyone's like, wait, is everyone done? It's like, no, I reckon there's still some villains out there, but as he goes over and picks up his duster, he's like, we got the bigger fishes already fried. Yeah, that's the same. There are bigger fishes to fries, I think. To fry or something. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's the same. Anyway, sorry about that. He then makes his way to the ambulance and sits out there. Everyone's like, oh, sort of like, so are you okay, Midori? He's like, I'm good. As he's like, well, mostly good. I think I almost lost an arm right there. As Deku's talking with Kirishima and them, it's like, yeah, that was quite fun. Weirdly fun in a way. It's like, as he's like, kind of tired though. I think the adrenaline's wearing off. It's like, really? He's like, yeah, I'm not gonna fall asleep though. I don't know if that will kill me though, so, So, how'd you guys do? As Kirishima's like, well, I did fight with I helped Bakugo fend off people. And I believe, where the heck did Mina end up? Mina stayed with everyone else right up there. She's like, yeah, I saw you fighting. I didn't really get split up. Deku's like, well, I guess that's good here. Well, see you guys later. As he can we go now? As he's like, oh, right away. As he's driven off to the recovery office, he's like, so, that was my first real encounter with villains. As he's sort of trying to he's moving his arm up and down. He's like, okay, that it's gonna hurt for a while. As he just like lays it on his chest, he's like, not bad first experience at all. As then Deku went to the office, as she's like, you severely hurt your hand, and this thing will take some time to recover. Must be in a cast, and bandages must be applied. He's like, alright, Doc. It's alright, Doc. You're the woman, I guess. You're the woman, I guess. I don't know. You're the boss. There we go. As it's like, yeah. I can't... Your father never got any injuries like this, as far as I know. He's like, my father fights from very long range. I'm more up and close and personal type of guy, She's like, alright. Anyways, just don't shoot too many of the students with those real bullets, please. Try to stick with the blue ones when it comes to this place. It's like, oh, no worry, Miss Recovery Girl. I got everything under control. And she's like, She's like, if I hear about you shooting a student, I'm going to lose it. He's like, hey, as long as they don't throw first, I'm cool. She's like, whatever. So, Midoriya, see you later? It's like, yep. As Deku and them all set off on their thing. No, not set off. Then it skips forward to how everyone's reacting during the USJ and that whole great period of when everyone's allowed to do their own thing. Deku returns to school. His hand is relatively healed up, aside from a little bit of a cast in a way. He can move his hand now. He can clench it and such. If he had to write with it, he could. He can shoot a. Sorry, he can't shoot a gun necessarily with it. Recovery Girl's like, yeah, don't shoot any real guns with this. And she's like, wait, why? See, as she says, that explains that your arm part right there did have some serious damage, and it would take a lot more time for the pain to subside. And if you use a gun with it, it's going to be even more so. It's like, alright, I won't use it for however long it takes for it to heal. She's like, well, good then. Now off you go. And she's like, alright. As Deku's like, if I can't use two guns during this, you know what, I'll just use my little lever action repeater. Lever action little rifle. Seems like a nice way to do it. Single-handed and may just need to be held when I reload it, so, Besides, better get practice with it. As he says that, it's like the whole people come pouring in. As Deku gives a standard, well, howdy there. This is everyone's confused as he's like, pleasure to meet ya. I'm Deku Midoriya. He's sort of introducing, and everyone else is like, wait a second, aren't you? He's like, yeah, you're Snipes kid. How'd you get in here? He's like, I went through the normal tests. As everyone else does the whole Tetsu is Tetsu. I believe that. Hang on, this guy's name is actually Tetsu. Two separate names. Each one has Tetsu. That just seems redundant. Then there's Monoma, and then there's Bakugo being Bakugo. And Shinzo's like, yeah, breaking news. And that whole thing about people doing well in the sports festival, I got rid of Mineta, since I said, if I remember, Aizawa was serious about the whole threat, so, Aizawa did live up to the threat of, you're out of here, get away. As Shinzo says that one of us may be joining your class, since there's a vacancy due to that Mineta kid getting kicked out, Deku's like, that makes sense. They'd want to keep all the classes fulfilled. He's like, well, whichever one of you does the best and is able to get in, welcome to 1A. Even though it may be a bit early to say that, as it's It's like, wait, what does that mean? It's like, nah, just the truth. I highly doubt any of you, or many of you, or even some of you, have actual training in combat. No. Alright then. As then he sets off, he's like, now I gotta go eat with Pops. It's like, man, he really does go with cowboy act, doesn't he? He's like, you got a point. As he goes, Deku sits down and eats with his dad. So, is it true that some people may be allowed into 1A since that one kid named Mineta or something got kicked out? As Snipe looks up at him, he's like, technically, yeah. Or technically, the best one that performs in 1B was supposed to be transferred up already, but since things happened the way they did, we really haven't had time. I'll see what Nezu and them think about it as like a reward or whatever. If no one else lives up to the expectations, as long as it's someone in general studies who, if it was someone who made it all the way to the final 3 thing, who isn't in 1B or anything like that, maybe given permission, but that's that's here or there. He's like, so where are we having beans? As Deku was like, ooh, my favorite. Yeah. No, we're having a stew. What kind of stew? Rabbit stew. I wonder what rabbit stew actually tastes like. That'd be interesting to taste. Hey, if any of you've had a rabbit stew, tell me what does it taste like. Anyways, Deku and them are all prepared as Deku gives a whole... As Deku's the one called up to like give the whole speech about the thing. As Todoroki has no reason to declare, well, technically he does, actually. As Deku like says, well, all y'all, let's get in there. Come on. As Todoroki does the whole, I declare war on you. As Deku says, well, ain't this fancy. Half and half boy versus a guy with a gun. It's a tale of old as time, isn't it? As some people are like, wait, what do you mean? It's like, oh, let's see who wins. A guy with magic or a guy with guns? Yeah, this will be interesting, won't it? As he, like, lets out a chuckle. Come on, emo, man. Come on, Scarface. Let's do this. As Todoroki's like, Scarface? As Deku has looked up more old movies and such like that. Say hello to my little friend. Yeah. Anyways. As Deku's ordered to give the whole speech thing, and then after he gives a speech, as he's like, hello, my name is Izuku Midoriya, I am in Class 1A. Pleasure to be here, all ya. If you guys may be aware, you guys can't see, as he like does have the gun openly displayed, as he says, my quirk is homing. Anything I shoot, anything that comes out of a projectile weapon, I control it. So, for any of you whose children is in this little crowd right here, I'll make you let you know, these aren't real bullets. These things are specially designed to tase. As like, wait, as several of them wait. As Mike says, are you serious? As it's like, Mike is like, what? They aren't. He's like, it makes sense to let them not have real bullets. As several people are skeptical, he's like, here, I'll prove it. As he fires over. He's like, do I have any takers on being a proof for this being not a real gun? As I'll say, it's like, you don't need to prove it, Midoriya. It's like, yeah. As several people are like, yeah, let's see you prove it. As one guy's like, alright, hit me. As he's like, alright, can some people like be ready to support him in case he falls? As the guy's like, as Deku shoots it, the guy's like, as it hits him, and he just like falls over, and guys are like, oh, we got you. As he says, see, perfectly safe. He's alive, no one's gonna get hurt. Sorry if that stung. As like they listen to him, like, he says he's alright. As it's like, alright then, let's all have a nice day. As Deku also has his lasso. They don't know why he wanted it. He filled out the paperwork though for it. As they're like, he's probably gonna have a hard time, using that without both hands, as Deku has rolled it up into a little thing already. It's like, ready, set, go! As Deku's like, alright then. As he's waiting for everyone to push through, and he's like sort of jumps up and sort of is not running on people's shoulders. Well, I guess in a way he is. He like is climbing over people. As he's like, 1, 2, 3, 4. As he makes his way over there. And starts running after people. Sorry. As Ida's like rushing forward with his quirk, as Deku's like, hang on a second, as he like lassos him, he's like, let's go! As he's like taking off. As everyone sees, oh, it seems Izuku Midoriya is using Tenya Ida as some form of a horse. Or something. As Ida's like, what are you doing, Midoriya? He's like, I'm catching some assistance from my friend, as well as this. As then he shoots Ida. He's like, thanks for the assistance. As Ida's like, dang it. As these pellets have been lowered to a greater degree of not being able to put someone down for like hours. It's like supposed to keep them down for at least a minute or so tops. As Ida's back up and running again after a little bit, as Deku's like, sorry Ida, as Deku has made some serious ground in just 2 minutes, as Ida's blasting forward through people. It's like, alright. As Deku's getting up there with like some of the other ones, like, he's surpassing a lot of them actually. The only ones who are like able to keep up with them are like people who have trained their bodies. So I'd say around Bakugo and Kirishima. As they're like, it's like Deku's like, well, ain't this something? Firecracker, a gun, and a stone. Let's see who makes it first. As he rushes past the robots, he actually shoots the 3 0-pointers, all of them, with, as he's like, oh well, as he used the lever action, like bang, flick, bang, flick, bang, flick, bang, flick, bang, flick, bang, flick. As all the robots come tumbling forward, as Deku's like, well, ain't that something? As then he shoots Todoroki, he's like, sorry about that. As he makes it over the thing, as he's like, well, he's like, now how am I gonna get over this? As he just starts, climbing over using his one hand. As he's like, wonder if this lasso is gonna be useful for anything. As then he remembered, wait a second. As he goes back, as well, I'll say beforehand, he grabs a metal shard from a robot part. As he's like, let's hope this works. It's like a grappling hook part as he bashed it into shape. As it's like just a crescent shape. As he used it, threw it, and is able to like make his way over, as he just sort of pulls himself over that way. Done with that. As then he makes his way going through the whole obstacle course with the mines. As he's like, well. As he sees Todoroki, Deku's just like throws a grappling hook. As then there's a massive explosion in front of him. Todoroki being flung back, as Deku's like, haha, sucker. As he's running, since he did have somewhat of an area set up for him to run, I'll say he did have things, not like the mines, but things that would impede his progress, such as like a little step trap where like if he stepped on it, like sort of sunk into the ground. So he's gotten good at eyeing places like that. He's like, whoop, as he's like sort of bobbing and weaving, he's like, well, hopefully as in Bakugo goes like, get back here, and like using his explosions, as Deku's like, oh, as he fires to the left a little bit, as in it's like, damn it, as Bakugo's hit again, and then explosions happen. Deku's, thankfully, to his gun quirk, he's able to get ahead of everybody. As he makes it to the thing, as Izuku Midoriya in first place because of guns. As Deku's like, amen to that. As he just like lets off a couple of shots, like a pew pew, like celebratory firing into the sky. As everyone's like, yeah, all clapping and such. as everyone's like excited and happy, and Deku retreats to grab something to drink. And to refill on ammo, he was shooting a lot of people with that gun, as he shot people to step on them. And shot robots. But anyways, that's where I'm going to be ending this one off at. I hope y'all have enjoyed it. Hope y'all continue to enjoy it. And I hope y'all have a nice day, nice night, nice life.